drama for people who only need a beat, yeah. Hi there, Terence McGuire here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about Ex-Drummer from 2007. Dries is a well-known writer who is invited to join a punk rock band with a group of disabled men. For Dries, this is an opportunity to get some inspiration for a new novel. The band members decide to call themselves the Feminists since they think that 4 handicapped musicians are just as worthless as a group of feminists. We follow the band's internal conflict as they attempt to enter a battle of the bands with their main opponents, the band Harry Malalasco, led by a writer nicknamed Big Dick. This film was recommended to me by my age mate Wes at iamtheicelord. He has a fabulous YouTube channel where he does horror movie reviews, DVD unboxings, and has been a great friend to me of late, appearing on numerous live streams with me, sometimes with very little notice. So once again, Wes, I want to use this opportunity to thank you for being such a valued supporter of this channel. God bless you. Now, where do you start with this film? This film is absolutely batshit crazy. Ex-Drummer, I have never seen a film like this in my life, and I've seen lots of films about fictitious rock and roll bands. Everything from the 5 Heartbeats to Spinal Tap. I've seen them all, right? But I've never seen anything quite like this. This is a Belgian film, right? And from the very opening of this movie, you get an understanding that you're seeing something quite unique, quite weird, quite off the wall. Just to give you an example of how weird this film is, there is this character that whenever he's alone in his home, he stands on the ceiling. He walks around the ceiling like it's normal, and people come in and visit him and it's just normal that this person is just standing there walking around on the ceiling. Never once does this get explained, never once do we understand this. Maybe it's to understand the crazy mind that this person has, because he is a very crazy character. He is a violent, crazed maniac in this character, but we don't get any sort of explanation as to why. So it kind of sets the mood, the tone of what we should expect in this film, and what we should expect in this film is to expect the unexpected. All of the characters in this movie are utterly unlikable, right? They pretty much fester in vulgarity at every moment. Whenever we visit these bandmates at their homes or in their studio, it just looks absolutely grimy and filthy all the time. This character Dries, our main protagonist in this story, he is not a likeable character whatsoever either. This film is intensely weird, right? It's one of those films that you think it's just being weird for the sake of it, right? Or maybe I'm just not getting it, right? The movie is, if it weren't for its weirdness and the strange goings on that happen on screen, I would not have been interested in this film. I don't like any of the characters. Every single one of them is absolutely repellent in every way, right? They're just the exchanges that they have with each other, the way that they treat each other is just absolutely abhorrent. But there is something really engaging about it. Something I just got to see what happens next with this film. It's like looking at a car crash. It's like looking at a car crash that I can't really make up my mind if it's a good film or a bad film. But one thing I will say about Ex-Drummer, it's a very entertaining film. I've got a real penchant for weird, off-the-wall, bonkers films, right? And this one is right up there. It's one of those crazy films that you go, oh, I bet you've never seen this. Bet you've never seen anything like this in a movie before, right? And you know, if you're off-put by a lot of the language in this film, and this is a Belgian movie, right? But a lot of the language in this film, a lot of the behaviour in this is just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. There are moments in it where they are just completely sexist to the extreme, right? There are moments in it that are just graphically horrible and violent, and there is even a moment of hardcore sex displayed in this film explicitly, right? Just thrown in there for no purpose, right? It really doesn't have much of a purpose to be there, except just to be shocking, I would say, right? But there was a moment in it that I found that was quite truthful. There are moments in this that you do feel there is an element of realism. Strangely, amongst all the weirdness that goes on in Ex-Drummer, there was this particular moment where this character was explaining to this character about the foreigners coming and taking their jobs. Now, in my workplace, I've heard this conversation over the phone. I've heard customers try and have that conversation with me, trying to draw me in to that sort of us against them, sort of blaming everything on the refugees, blaming everything on the foreigners, right? That kind of conversation. And there was a moment in Ex-Drummer that had that, and I felt that was very truthful. That was very accurate to the way some of these mindless, dot-brained knuckle draggers behave. If you're never going to watch this film, then let me explain some of the batshit crazy stuff that happens in it. There is this one particular character called Big Dick. He's from a rival band. The feminists are going to go up against at the Battle of the Bands. And Dries, he meets him at his home. He meets this character Big Dick at his home, and he asks him about his name. He's like, "So you get called Big Dick? Is that just like a kind of ironic name?" And he's like, "No." And he brings his wife over. And tells her to lift up her skirt, right? Tells her to lift up her skirt, and then we do a jump cut to them standing inside her magic baby door, so to speak, right? And he's looking in admiration, going, I made this, right? So that's how realistic this film is. That's how kind of absolutely crazy. And I don't know what that scene was about, but I think maybe it is just that kind of male posturing, that male sort of, yes, I've got the biggest dick in the world, right? I made this, right? I absolutely destroyed this woman's womanhood here, right? That's how much of a man I am. And you get that from this, that it is just this whole sort of barrel of stinking smelling testosterone on display, right? The worst elements of masculinity, that whole kind of fake bad boy attitude that I've just seen so many times growing up. I think this film is about that. I think it is about that kind of macho attitude, that just repellent, disgusting, unhelpful, destructive macho attitude that just seems to sort of push through it. There are moments of homophobia on display as well, right? There are moments, even with Dries, he's meant to be our lead character, our way into this crazy world, but even he displays this horrible homophobia towards one of the band members. And I think that's what the film's about. I think the film is just about how repellent men can really be when they're in that whole kind of rock and roll lifestyle, that whole attitude that is just fake. Just absolutely fake and false, right? Now please, once again I want to thank Wes at I Am the Ice Lord for recommending Ex-Drummer. I had a really good time watching this movie, even though I spent most of the time just going, what the fuck was that, right? The movie was just absolutely bonkers, honestly. It will blow your bollocks off how absolutely crazy this movie is, right? And if you don't have bollocks, it'll blow out your ovaries, right? The movie is just absolutely nuts, right? I mean, this is the way I behave after watching this film, because I just feel completely and utterly scrambled. My brain is absolutely scrambled egg right now after watching this crazy movie, right? But if you liked this video, which you probably didn't, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to this crazy ass channel, hit the subscription button. Do it. And I will see you soon with another normal review, right, of a normal film for normal people, right? Until then, bye bye.